whatsoever. I'm not doing any editing, and everything that comes to my mind, coming up from my mouth, coming up, through my heart and my mind, is what I know based on what I study. Based on what I did study is the Bible. In 2024, I studied like class or whatever, and full study. I'm still on a venture and a journey of studying it. 2025, I was listening it in my own language. I'm Filipino by nature, by background, but I live in Toronto, Canada. I'm a registered massage therapist. By grace, he let me for me to acquire from my age all these things that I needed to, so that I have that foundation of sort of like I'm more authentic. But that doesn't mean anything. Even theologians, it doesn't mean anything. If you read the Bible yourself, God wires us differently. If you read the Bible, He wires every person, every prophet, every significant, um, you know, person in the Bible differently. Why? Because He's God. That's why it's so important for us to know how He is. God is God. No matter what you think of Him, whether your demands that He should be good, that He should not let any human being to go to hell, blah blah blah, whatever your demands are, it's not gonna happen. Why? Because He is God. He's been God, omnipresent, everything. He's not bound by time, by anything, right? He is God, and whether you're gonna be, passing by this lifetime, this earth, your generation to generation, it's still gonna be God. I hope that you get that in your, in your very, very thick head or skull, because the moment you realize that, the better for you. Okay. So you knowing how God is the foundation of it. What He wants, how He wants you to live by is so important. So you can finally find your peace, your truth, your way in life. It doesn't mean you being prosperous and money-wise or having this grandeur of life. That doesn't mean anything. Because when we die, we bring nobody. We're supposed to bring men. When I say men, not necessarily men, and a lot of, malicious people will say that some of them are my family too, okay? When you say men, that doesn't mean men, okay? It means human being. We're supposed to bring human being with us when we die. Meaning, we want everyone as possible. Everyone as possible. As much as possible, everyone to be saved. And of course, we tend to want to save our own family. Like me, my main focus is my 3 kids. Whether God forgive me, but of course it is, because what I love them the most, right? But my love doesn't end there. Like, I wanted to save as much as I can. Going to, my 3 sisters, my uncle, my aunt, or 2 aunts, I know what they were saying, especially my mother, and he's actually influenced me with Jesus. Not the Jesus that I studied, like she doesn't fully have that knowledge, but she has it, and I know that she's saved. When she dies, she's gonna go to heaven. My other aunt, I'm still 90% sure, but not 100% sure, so I'm working on that. But anyways, I found out based on my studying too that you don't have that full control. You just can't. God will make it happen for you. You just don't maneuver, right? All you have to do is share the gospel. I made a video prior to this with what is the gospel, and I'm gonna say it again at the end of this video. End of this, not this video, but the segments of this video, because it's important. That's the only thing that matters in this world, is the gospel. Why is that? Because through the gospel, you're sharing what God wants, how how His love for us manifested, how He's trying to save us from our, we are so inefficient. We are very, very human, you know, when people or a lot of theologians, a lot of churches will even say, you know, we are from the image of God. That is not true at all. We no longer have that. From Adam's fall, that's no longer exists. We are not an image of God at all. That's why Jesus has to come down, because for him to break that, for him to bring us back to the image of God that we're supposed to. So if you in your thick head think that you are with the image of God, that you are just separated from God, no, it doesn't work that way. And to be honest, at least if you have Jesus Christ, you're safe. You're very safe. But if you don't, and I'm not going to mention many religion, I'm going to start with Islam and then Judaism, um, right? The Jews, right? They're so stubborn. If you read the Pentateuch, the first 5 books, this is a cycle for that, and they're still not getting it, you know? And I breaks my heart when they spit on Jesus. They call it Jesus JC, and then they do that. That's why I don't like Jews. I really don't. I really do not. Because I know I'm not supposed to, and I'm sinning that way. Forgive me, God. Forgive me, Jesus. But I'm still not there. I'm praying hard for me to be able to, because they don't know what they're doing. I understand that fact, but I'm so emotional. And I get so upset when they spit on Jesus, when they say that Jesus is blaspheming, that Jesus is not the Messiah. And, you know, I love them, yes. I have lots of, you know, people that I know that are Jews and Muslim, and I wish I could take them to heaven with me when I die, right? Anyways, okay, so going back to obedience, okay, when I say obedience, it will give you